And we are live. Welcome to the greenlit palace of wisdom, eccentricity, and entertainment that is the CM Kozeman live stream. I shaved for you and cut my neck in the process. Still bleeding. Maybe I was shot by a tormentor wielding a shock collar. Hello, everybody. Hello, Redmur. Hello, Squid. Hello, Thomas Strimpel. Hello, Mert. And the nearly 8 people watching. Hello, PGA. I'll give it some time until everybody comes in. Hello, Lux Aterna. Now I'm just going to go freshen up, grab some liquids and other condiments, and I will be right back with you. Hello, Dan McAleer. Hello, Don Zilio Show. Hello, everybody. Redmur says, hello, Mr. Kozeman. Where can I buy your book? Is it not on your site? Well, it is here. Just a second. You can place an order from my publisher straight, Wilton Square Books. And I'll just show you the web page while I go grab some drinks and snacks. Go to Wilton Square Books, Wilton Square Books, Wilton Square Books, and you can find all tomorrows there. The key takeaway is the ISBN. You know, the book had a previous publisher who collapsed. So now this ISBN is the one to look out for. Wilton Square, and the ISBN is, well, what you see here. It has come to this panhandling for book sales, but at least you get something in return. If you want to get more things in return, if you want to get special access to my art and other creations, also support me on Patreon and maybe buy me a coffee if you are watching on the replay. All the links are in the video description. I'm just trying to sort something out with the sounds. It has got this annoying thing. Well, I'm going to boomer my sound thing for a second. Just bear with me, okay? It has this thing that automatically decreases the volume of my mic. I don't want that. How do I do it? Wait, I'm just going to ask for your excuse. Redmer says, I have my eyes on one of the posters for my empty walls. Well, you can also go to the merch store and get some posters. Yeah, let's why not? We started out on a chilly tone, so let's do that. Just a second. Look, I have this page, this merch page, okay? And here you can get all sorts of CM Kozemen merchandise, including phone cases like colonials and posters for the snake people, for the coup, a t-shirt for the otter, some associated topical t-shirts, and of course a Kuhanim domination t-shirt which you can rock. And yeah, if you get that, I get something too. So why not? Why not? Go check my merch store. Okay, I'll just be back in a second. You know what? I'm not that low class. You've seen the merch store. I'm not going to leave the merch store running. I'd rather show you the desk. And I will be right back. While I am gone, I will show you these new paintings and sketches to keep you entertained. Yes. Hop. These are some recent sketches with watercolors and, well, something like an ink nib pen. I hope you enjoy them. And this thing is a charcoal. So this is charcoals and watercolors, and it took me 2 days to make this. It's very small, but I had to go almost, well, there are no pixels, but almost like dot by dot in the background, and it really shows. Okay, I will be back. Call your friends, 23 people watching. Call your friends, go to your social media, call everybody. Let's get some buddies in the room. And yeah, let's get some food and snacks for me. And we'll get the show running. Yes. Finally, Küfsöker says, I have caught a stream. Well, thank you. Here I am, cleaned up and snacked up. I will reveal my incredible snacks to you in a moment. Congrats on the book again, says Berhat Gitar. Thank you. Lux Aterna says, oh my God, nice. Bakara says, busy with school, missed a few of your streams. Well, here you are again. There is a small and vibrant community in these streams. Has anyone actually met up from the stream and become online friends? I wonder. If you have, please let me know. Sup, lad, says Ed. All is well. So for tonight, I have the following items, which to you in non-Turkish countries may be quite fancy. Because I have Della wafers. They've made these thinner because they want to skimp on costs, but the taste is good. It's a nut cream chocolate covered wafer bar with milk chocolate. So that's that. We got the coffee, we got the cookies, we got the tangerine, which is a Mediterranean winter staple, and it's a cozy winter. Plus, we got the mineral water, which is green and goes rather well with the light, don't you think? Fancy mug, says Redmer. It's a very normal kind of mug, but thank you. Panty Plays History says, yay, I made it to one of your streams. Very excited for the book. I got an earlier today saying they were getting ready for dispatch. Yes. Yes, all tomorrow's really is printed and it's shipping. Actually, I got a few copies here. Let me show you all. So I have, well, I have 3 copies given to me as an author, and these are all that I got. Okay. Plus, I got a bunch of copies from the Thai print, which was printed in Thailand in the Thai language. You can get these from, well, if you go to Thailand, you can pick them up. I don't think the publisher ships globally. It was a local thing, but like these have been selling really well in Thailand in the Thai language, which helped me get ultimately the publisher attention for the real deal, which is this thing. Are they all sold out, says Bakara? I think the versions with my signature on them have been all sold out, but we are printing close to 18,000 copies, which is an incredible number. So I don't think those are going to be sold out anytime. Well, I hope, well, you can still get them, but they won't be signed by me. So these are great books, actually. This definitive English edition has a chapter about how the book was written, my past. This is the 19-year-old me looking very cringe. And it's got a whole section of sketches that, well, nobody else gets to see unless they pick the book. So you got some extra content here. And that is that, just to show you that the book is real this time and it is shipping. And God knows, I mean, the previous publisher, Unbound, Boundless, they really did me a dirty. And many authors too, but yeah. Speaking of D&D, could you imagine all tomorrows as a setting for a TTRPG campaign? I don't know about RPG or D&D rules. That is for somebody to like officially collaborate me with, because I can't know everything. Well, let's take a look at how this wafer is like. And 35 people watching. Amazing. Imagine talking to a room full of 35 people. That would be like a small conference. God damn, it's doing. Can you hear me well, by the way? So there's this annoying thing. The input volume keeps sliding back. I want it to be louder, like this. Is the loud version hurting your ears? But now it's going back again, the fucker. I don't know, maybe it's doing it right. Can you let me know if the loudness, like, if I make it loud like this is loud, does it hurt your ears when it's loud? I didn't notice any change, says Redmer. Okay, well, if the sound is good, I can't really care at this moment. How has it been, everybody? It's been a great weekend. I was away in the Turkish town of Eskişehir. I promoted the book, took out one of the copies with me, and it was insane. Eskişehir is a student town in Western Turkey, and I go downtown and people recognize me for this book now. It's insane. And I'm so thankful. Like, then there was a talk about the book, which was basically like this live stream, questions and answers about a lot of things in person this time, and a lot of people attended, and it was a great evening, thanks to the Eskişehir debate community, or, well, the official name is Eskişehir Tartışma Topluluğu. There are a bunch of really smart, erudite guys with their hearts in the right place, and they were very gracious for arranging this thing. The founder, Mr. Ali, he also took us to a great night drinking at a beer place, a heavy metal place nearby. That was fun. And if anybody from Eskişehir is in the chat now, let me know. If you're from Eskişehir, if we hung out together last weekend, let me know. Oh, no. Heavy metal / all tomorrows hits hard, says Berhat Guitar. Well, we spoke about a lot of things. At one point, the conversation came to dealing with death and stuff, because, well, there was a big death in our family when I was writing All Tomorrows, and it was sad. And I said things to the effect of, like, maybe that influenced the theme of rebirth and revival in the book. And somebody actually said, well, I lost my mother 2 years ago, or 2 months ago. And there was a solemn silence, and it was a very poignant, emotional connection. And that was a really nice moment for everybody. Cauliflower says, Bon appetit, Narsus, who is an IRL friend now from Eskişehir. We hung out together. Hello from Aykan, says. Well, hello to you too. Great to see you here. He's an incredibly talented guy. Let me just show you. This was his gift to me. Let me hold it like this. But he's got this Narsus among you. He was one of my friends in the chat. He has an incredible understanding of mammal anatomy and a sort of dreamy sense of fantasy. And he draws a lot of things, including, well, incredible drawings of women, actually. But also these things, which are kind of like his submissions for like these horse-headed, almost post-human things. I really love his work. I think he's a better artist than I can be. So that's that. Narsus post-human creations, censored here, because, well, this is YouTube. I don't know. Wink. That's a nice one. 37 people watching. Oh my god. Küf Söker says good. More and more base Turkish friends in the chat these days. Let's do our roll call while I get some coffees and some of this green mineral water. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from, everybody? Write in the chat where you all hail from so we can all get to know each other. Bakara is from California. Küfsekar from Northern Cyprus. Congratulations on your amazing election. From North Cyprus to cookies in North Carolina. Pegea from Brazil. Redmer from Portugal. Ed from Mexico. Panty plays history from near London in the UK. Cauliflower from Kocaeli. Ömer Khan from Ankara. And Bierhat Guitar from Sivas. These are all Turkish cities. Dan McAleer, Scotland. I always imagine like a map lighting up when I read these. Lux Aterna from Lithuania. Very nice. Benito Carmelo from Mexico. Oh, he retracted it. Doesn't want us to know he's in Mexico, but too late. Something from Izmir, Turkey, which once was Smyrna, one of the cities in the Bible. I'm trying to peel this tangerine, by the way. Emilia Constantino from Athens, Greece. Hoo-hoo. Kalispera. Stoathina. Filemu. I hope my Greek isn't too rusty. It's a nice language. I would love to know more of. But I had to put all my XPs into English and Turkish. It's a great feeling to be in the presence of y'alls. By the way, there's like 40, 50 people watching on average, and I'm sure there's some like incredible lurkers in there too, from like weird and wild places. I know what you are. Hope you're doing all well. I don't know, the sugar is going to my brain. Gonna put me to sleep soon. Pavel says, we be lurking. Cauliflower says, what languages would you like to learn? French, I think. It was like the number one language for science and, well, educated people up until the Victorian era, and much later in some parts of the world. French would be one, Greek would be one, Hebrew would be one, or Arabic too. Sacre bleu, says Redmer. Well, I also have been making the series of, well, let me show you. Wait a minute. Just give me a second, okay? I have been working on these French cultural artifacts, for the lack of a better word. Years and years ago, my grandfather brought me as a gift these cards from France. Okay, these are incredible French language paleo cards. Les plus grands animaux tous les temps, the greatest animals of all times. And we got Diplodocus, which is un gigantesque herbivore. And then, well, you got a lot of cards. And I'm making, I already made one big video about one set of these cards. But I'm going to make another set about this other set. Mammoth, apparently, is one. Makairadus. Well, these are just great. Bison, and the art here is great too. Wintatarium becomes Vintatarium. And I'm also teaching myself to use Adobe Premiere while making these card videos. I want the videos on this channel to be more properly edited now and like actual quality videos. Because the style of this channel really evolved a lot. Like for, I think, like 6 to 8 years, it was just me talking into a handheld sound recorder with ugly sound quality, and more like punk rock audio aesthetic, if you will. And I just put them in a audio mixer and just dumped it straight onto YouTube. Just me yapping non-stop. But now, actually, I want more high quality, in-depth research videos. And I have been making some big videos, but they were all like screen recordings from Microsoft PowerPoint, because that saves me the time for editing. But when I'm panhandling for cash on Patreon and stuff, I think I can put a little bit more effort in. Bearhat Guitar says AI can edit your videos. I don't know. I mean, there's this thing called CapCut, which apparently does it, but it's a mobile app, and I don't use mobile phones. So, plus, don't forget, I actually studied filmmaking. So, back in my day, there was a program called Avid, which later got, well, replaced in the sector by Final Cut Pro. And then Premiere became the industry standard. I actually used Premiere for like a independent indie movie I was cutting more than 15 years ago. But now this version as Premiere has changed so much. It's like trying to fly an airplane. Cookie says, some of those older videos have a great charm to them. I still go back and watch those 2 Natural History of Half-Life videos. Well, with Prometheum in them, of course you would go watch the headers. It's insane, those statistics. I hope my online friend Prometheum is doing better. But like the videos in which she does the headlines, I know the analytics data, I've seen it. There's like a 10 times spike in the first 2 minutes when she's doing the headers, and then it tapers, because I guess we can imagine the kinds of people watching that just to see a cute girl, but then they get bored, or they don't understand, or maybe my Hebraic yapping is just not to their liking. Bakara says, your videos are always great. Thank you, man. The mastodon looks like it has a grandpa expression. Exactly. Actually, this was a dead ringer for, let me show you, the cute blue elephant creature. The cute blue elephant creature in Luc Besson's The Fifth Element, which is also French, coincidentally. So look at the mastodon now. It's a dead ringer for this thing. So yeah, it's a interesting similarity. Maybe Luc Besson owned the same cards. Maybe, or maybe at least the concept designer for this creature did. But I love this film. I love this creature. Like I love everything in the Fifth Element. Twinkle Toes says, haven't heard the term dead ringer in a long, long time. Well, my knowledge of English, although grammatically accurate, comes mostly from reading books, like lots of them. So there are some like out of place, eccentric, or old expressions here and there. Beer Hot Guitar says, there's been a quake. Has anyone felt it? No, I haven't felt it. Has anybody else felt it? This is a common Turkish online internet experience when there's there's a small earthquake, which reminds everyone of the big earthquakes on the past and even the bigger ones that are probably to come. Remember, only 2 years ago there was a horrible earthquake, and like more than 100,000 people died in southern Turkey, in cities like Hatay, Gaziantep, surrounding areas, and it's all been like paved over. Mentally, people pretend to forget it very rapidly, but of course, all those losses, it was horrible. It takes decades to internalize. My own my own paternal grandmother died in the 1999 earthquake in Yalova, Turkey. And so now it's a tradition in Turkey. Whenever like somebody feels a bump, maybe it's a small quake or a big quake, I don't know, everybody's like, oh, did you feel it? And of course, you check out on your loved ones. Oh, the pet, says Bakara. I remember the large ear aliens. There are no large ear aliens. Oh, you mean the Mangalores? These guys. The ugly dog aliens. Wait, let's show the image. Or the other aliens in the Fifth Element. What I liked about these things was that every face was a different sculpt and they all had like unique characters. Like this movie was great. I think like production wise, music wise, even with acting, music, all the little details, world building. This was like the most movie of all time. I love this so much. My favorite was, of course, Diva Plava Laguna. Whoop. Wait a minute. I'm going to open a nice looking image of this alien. Oh, wait. This lady. It was a formative character. It was, I think, a great use of makeup. Very simple, like considering all the other wild aliens we're getting in movies. It's a very simple. It's just like a woman with blue face paint and blue hair extension and fake blue tentacles, but it just works. So beautiful. It's like a Mobius drawing come to life. I really loved, like, I think it was graceful and sexy too. Bakara says the stones were in her. Yes, exactly. And being from Turkey, it always reminded me of this thing, which I will show now. Artemis of Ephesus. Well, It's not a one-on-one match, but like they have a similar vibe, I mean, wait. I'm just gonna show you sequentially. Oh, of course, Diva Plava Laguna. Okay, so this is what she looks like from the front, okay? And this is Artemis of Ephesus. And in my mind, because I seen the statue and it's a magnificent work of ancient art, I saw the statue in a museum. The images were inextricably linked, indelibly linked. Is this the bumpy Artemis statue with the sacrificial bull testicle hangings or the bees? Well, this statue, yes. There are different hypotheses. Some say those are bull testicles. Some say they symbolize multiple breasts as a symbol of fecundity and, well, bounty. No one actually really knows. And maybe they were just like sacks of gold, or maybe they were meant to invoke fruit. But yeah, like to me, Diva Plava Laguna in the fifth element was a dead ringer once again for this character, this ancient goddess. And also that scene launched my abortive musical whistling career. Because when I watched that movie on VHS over and over again, I was captivated by the song. And then I got a soundtrack CD and listened to that over and over again. Remember, there was no like internet music to speak of. So we had to like listen to the same thing over and over again, and it got burned into my brain. Then I realized I could whistle a really similar tone with the vibratio effect and everything reflexively. So I could do things like oh, yeah. Maybe a sixth element is inside you, says Bakara. Well, just have to check it. Let's see what's inside of us. Oh my god, it's some tangerines. Look at this fucking shit. Yeah. Very, very, very good. Well, you're gonna start your opera career too. No, look. Singing, music, notes, these take a lifetime to master. I know better. Just being able to imitate something well is not the same talent as being able to create something ex nihilo. Tangerine is the sixth element, yes. By the way, there's an amazing, amazing band. What was it called? Tangerine Dream. Tangerine Dream. I'm going to show you some of their album covers. They're like strange, progressive, psychedelic music. Okay. Go look them up on YouTube. Tangerine Dream. Really, really strange and really nice. Really atmospheric music. Window Lizard says Tangerine Dream is the GOAT. Well, thank you. Zeit is the perfect music to listen to when watching marine life documentaries. Cauliflower says, I saw a sort of parasitic worm in a chestnut I was eating, which I guess resembled Plava Laguna's head. Could it be an acorn? No, no, no, no. I think you saw a larval form of a weevil. You must have seen these guys. From tangerine dream to, well, cute nutworms. And the head, the shape really matches, yes. I think you may have had a weevil larva, says Küfsöker, correct. Berhat Guitar says, what do you think about shifting other ourselves, being aware of other selves? My good friend, I don't know what you mean. Just for this once, I'll let you ask this question in Turkish, if it's easier. Tangerines are good. So is the coffee. So is the soda. Küfsöker says, if all human beings, except for uncontacted peoples, disappeared, how long do you think civilization would take to redevelop? Epsilon Amiri Jorabi says, just joined. What is the image on the screen about? It's about weevils somebody saw while eating a nut. So, uncontacted peoples, just for posterity, there are these tribes around the world who haven't been contacted by, well, modern civilization, whatever that means. I think this phenomenon is best exemplified by this picture. This is the image, well, an airplane or a helicopter took while flying over the Amazon. And some of these tribes people saw the plane and tried to shoot it down. But it's this lineage of people who have never ever seen a human, like seen a car, or they haven't been contacted by modern civilization. They remain outside of it. If everybody else died and it was just these guys in, like, well, a few places in Papua New Guinea, Sentinel Island, and deep Amazon, maybe the deepest, darkest Africa, I don't know. Like, we might never get this sort of civilization back, because this sort of living now, it's different from the kind of early civilizations that originated modern society. You have to understand that things like taxes, land registry, and through those maybe numbers, writing, mathematics, they develop very specifically in these like river basins, in Mesopotamia first, also in the few sites in India, and then spread from there outward. These people don't live in that sort of setting. They have a unique and very distinct, well, hunter-gatherer lifestyle. So they may never go down this path again. Is this what life in the 80s was like, before the internet? Before the never never? Maybe. Actually, the life in the 80s, like every image was so much more valuable. Like literally, you saw less images in 1 year than somebody sees in one morning looking at their phones. Flow Zone says most of these tribes aren't truly uncontacted, but they are survivors of colonialism that sought refuge in very remote areas. Agreed and very correct point. This is why I think also from that sort of a mindset, it won't develop like our society now. And it's never linear. I mean, I don't really like or understand these attempts to impose some sort of engineer's linear perspective on civilization, whatever that is. Certainly, you can see qualitative differences like copper, iron, steel, steam going on through coal with petroleum. But it's not like a logarithmic function. You can't have like this, there's no like G factor of civilization which increases, but it's just societies using different resources. We've just been lucky enough to like leap like a monkey from one resource to another more energy rich resource, but it's not linear. It might never be. Some primitive societies may have had taxes, but they gave it up when their old culture was erased, as opposed to some who never had that in Australia before colonization. Maybe. I mean, with tribes like this, if everybody else was wiped out, maybe they would not be able to live outside of their geographical range because of disease. Or just like, why, if you've been used to like hiding essentially, you'd be less likely to have a expansionist mentality. Knock another one back. Oh my God, just made a phone call. The subject changed so much. It happens around here. Küfsöker says, I asked because a drawing of Wanga Vagok, my good online friend, made in DeviantArt about parrot riding Venusian global pre-metallurgy civilizations. I wondered what other weirder routes civilization might take. I think every step of development is not linear, but was actually a choice or a coincidence. And we are like branching. It's like a pachinko machine. There's a general direction. Do you know pachinko machines? Let me show you. Let me show you a pachinko machine, okay? And maybe you'll understand my metaphor better. Oh, sorry. Eleanor Davis. Hello, by the way, Eleanor. These live streams always have very interesting topics. So, pachinko is a game where balls drop and you do something and you attempt to manipulate which way they drop through these pins, okay? The thing is, they always fall down. You can maybe influence the outcome a little. So, civilization essentially is like that. I don't think it's a linear scale, and this is not the best or worst version that was possible. If humans played things differently 50 years ago, 80 years ago, 100 years ago, we could have ended up with some sort of civilization that was maybe easier to live in, or harder to live in, or with more people, or maybe with way less people. David Gorola says pachinko is my favorite vice. This is an addiction in Japan, by the way. Actually, this is like, wait. Wait. You know the Neon Genesis Evangelion series? They made literally like 6 times more money from pachinko machine licensing than they did from all the movies and merchandising combined. This is like a little known Evangelion fact, but like just imagine the level of inceldom that would prompt someone to like actually go ahead and interact with this machine. Look at this. Some fucking ball drops and you're looking at, well, 2 underage anime girls and I don't know, whatever this Maya Makinami character was. And you're just watching the fucking ball drop over and over, trying to influence the events while they egg you on to try again. Just go, Shinji. Get in the fucking pachinko parlor. It really is a fucking addiction. Really is. I mean, it's like you cannot understate what a huge addiction pachinko is in Japan. I'm just looking for my wet wipes. Pachinko girls had me oozing again. No, that's a joke. Just gonna wipe my hands with all this. Whoever that girl with the glasses is, she's a new addition. The good ending character. In COVID, I was deep into Evangelion fandom. It's a river you must wash in only once. Literally, like it's like too much of it is very toxic. Turns very toxic very fast. They did have some insightful, like it was, I think, great for a Japanese robot show to start like a robots fighting monsters with hot women. But turns out it's about like family trauma. And it's a good way to get nerds thinking about how human beings really operate. So plus points on that. Unfortunately, it quickly becomes the very thing it set out to destroy. It's about a lack of confidence, says Rusty Shackleford. True, like the whole thing, the whole desire to man up. Cauliflower says, just like Disney, you could live off just using Evangelion merchandise. They have everything. Yes. Asuka brand bread. I never expected CM Cosman to red pill the audience on Eva Pachinko lore. Now, I'll show you Pachinko parlors. Insane how addicted people get to these things. Just look at it. 1 yen pachinko. 1 yen pachinko. It's like being trapped on in a subway. This might be a subway car. Just look at it. Just people playing over and over and over and over and over like monkey. It really is like a primate mental experiment. It's, I think, all sorts of gambling. I think they're very righteous forms of idiot tax. It's a huge problem in many parts of the world, by the way, gambling addiction. Especially, strange enough, in times of economic crisis. Yeah, people do this with slots in Las Vegas and other casinos, says EC. Yes, yes, yes, true. All these boomers like, no, no, no, like, very grim to see these rows of gamblers, says EC. Very true. Flow Zone says, is pachinko a thing in Turkey? No, no. I just know it from like generally being a man of culture. He said aloofly, eating the last bit of tangerine. You know what time is it? You know what time it is? It's bio break time. I just need to wash the grime, the pachinko tangerine grime from off my hands. And I'll be right back. I also had wet wipes here. Where the hell are they? Okay, while I'm gone, I'm gonna keep you entertained with some more art. If I can find it. Oh, sorry. Just keep burping. This book also contains deleted story arcs and deleted concepts. So here is one. Why don't you feast your eyes on that? And I will be right back, okay? Bio break. I hope you missed me. To me, it's like looking at a mirror, says Rusty, referring to the freakish, abundant concept in All Tomorrows. It was a wind eater creature, and if you want to learn more about that, you have to get the book. Eleanor says, my copy of All Tomorrows is on the way. I'm so excited. Thank you. I'm so lucky and happy that you stuck with it, and thanks for getting the book, really. What is the national gambling addiction, says Flow Zone? Well, so this is a strange thing. In times of economic uncertainty, you would expect people to be more careful with their money, but actually, this is a time when illegal online gambling peaks. And this is a gray area sort of thing. So in Turkey, gambling is illegal, but nothing is stopping you from gambling online through a website that is in the Turkish language. So there are all these like bet sites, and they got these incredibly slick UIs and advertising and everything. In fact, I know people who used to be in like the advertising industry, and they were trying to make ends meet by filming, I don't know, car commercials or like, I know, like promotional videos for ports and, stuff like this. And like one such person that I know, he told me that like he got this unofficial contract filming video ads for one of those bet sites. And they go to this like hotel in Antalya with all these like weird Russian prostitutes and everything. And he says it was like the most professional shoot he ever did. And they paid like generously and on time. And yeah, it's just a state of affairs. It's like perhaps the most efficient back-end, front-end, UI, UX designed web experience in the Turkish language with these illegal betting sites. And it's even more idiotic than an idiot tax. I mean, with a machine, at least technically you feel like you have some chance of winning, but with a digital platform, I mean, it just can be rigged by definition. I don't understand how people can ever think they got a chance with that. There's also a national lottery, Ozzy says, correctly pointing out. And there's a kind of like sports betting for horse races and soccer matches. Well, at least those are based on some real event, outcomes of some real event. Kök Söker, Küf Söker says, rooster fighting still is a popular form of gambling. It is. I don't like it's betting, but it's not gambling like online casinos or even pachinko parlors. Rusty Shackelford says, I won $65 with 20 in Las Vegas. I cashed out and was happy. You did the right thing. I think that's like the best profit you will make. Just win once, never play again. TAZR says, hello, Memo. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well too. I am more energetic today because I had the stream 1 hour earlier. And in that 1 hour, I think you can see my brain's actual true potential of this operational battle station. If I start at 10, I am just at the right speed. I still got it, still got the power, still got the mojo. 1 hour later, sleep begins to knock. Knock, knock, knock, like a fucking nighttime visitor. Flow Zone says, maybe it's an all or nothing mentality. If you're losing anyway, there's a 0.01% chance you may not lose, then try. Maybe. I mean, I can sense the part of the male mind that it tickles, like going out on a hunt or a venture. What if there's one last unupturned stone? I can see how it works. I don't have it, and with some people it's a liability. Cauliflower says, there's also this box opening stuff in games like CSGO. So I don't know how that operates. Do you open virtual boxes and try to bet on them? Oh my god, a friend of mine was even scammed and lost something like 35,000 liras. That's not a small sum. Let me do some maths real quick. That's like $850. Shit. That's a lot of money, man. Well, be careful around that friend. Really. Because gambling, like any other addiction, you might like the person, you might get along with them well. Less irritating says virtual boxes, pure scam. Yeah. Look, with gamblers, you got to be careful. They have they might be perfectly nice people and good friends, but they have an addictive personality and they have a grabbing personality. They have grabbing hands. They're out there for what they can get. So those people can one day, quite out of the blue, it doesn't have to be monetary, but like try to take advantage of you. So just be careful. Like 41, maybe 42 now years of experience. Every compulsive gambler I've known, you can't be half a nice guy. You can't be half an asshole. And maybe they're like funny rascal types in youth, but yeah, later it becomes a whole other story. Rusty Shackelford says, that friend will gamble away your kidney. I don't think they will take money from you necessarily. Like you can still be you can still be you can still have boundaries when you can say I'm not going to pay you money or whatever. But they can still just out of the blue take advantage of you. Just be careful. Let me do my beauty mask. Fepasa Rusa says, Kuzaman, you're looking very similar to a coworker. Are you sure you don't have lost relatives in Brazil? Okay, so this is interesting. Many of you might know that. Wait, I will show you. God damn. A while ago, I took some DNA tests, okay? Like we knew in our family, we knew for a number of years, while being Turks at heart, we were not really Turks in blood. We knew there was a Jewish connection to our family, but we are technically registered as Turks and members of the Muslim religion. But there's a long and convoluted history to that. Thing is, I'll show you my Reddit thing, okay? Just checking. Okay. Well, I shared these results on Reddit, and it's 75% European Jew, 23% Slavic, the rest is, I don't know, North African, but this is too small to consider. Then it's a genetic fit to in late antiquity, close to the Roman Levant and Roman Italy. Then Italic and Etruscan, Phoenician, like these are the illustrative DNA tests that interprets your data. So in the Bronze Age, my closest matches come from the Canaanites and the Western Steppe people. And the closest genetic distance is to Ashkenaz Jews, Sicilians, and Greeks from Izmir and Crete. I can't see anything. Oh no! Shit. Well, they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know, but this is my genetic results, okay? It was delayed. Okay, whatever. So we have these I have this genetic background. I mean, I look the part too, huh? I know from these like DNA matching services that there are some close matches to my DNA from Brazil and Argentina. I don't know how they got there or how the results correlate. But yeah, there's the answer to your question, Fepaza Rusa. You look crazy similar to a coworker I had in Brazil. There are a lot of Lebanese people from the Ottoman Empire in Brazil. That's true too. It is what it is. I always say I'm a secular Turkish citizen. I'm proud to be so. If pressed a little more, I can say I'm an ethnically Jewish secular Turkish citizen. But really, I don't have much truck with the identity politics games. If I had this test in my 20s, I could have been way more excited and like out there about it, but it is what it is. Küf Söker says, when I took a DNA test, my results were everywhere, from Hungary to Bosnia to the Amur River Valley and Mongolia. Literally everywhere on Eurasia minus India. Yes, this is the story with many Turkish people, like huge genetic mix. You can really see it when you go to a small Turkish city. I was in Eskişehir last weekend, and the city's history is also unique because it received many migrants from Georgia, the present-day Balkans, and former Yugoslavia, Bulgaria. And there's also like a strong ethnic Turkish contingent too. Plus, there used to be a big population of Celts there, if you can believe it. They call them Galatians. So you go to a supermarket or like walk around in the street, not look at the students because the students are from like everywhere. But you look at the locals, like people in local shops, and their phenotypes are very strange. Like in a supermarket, there was an old lady with like the most piercing green eyes I've ever seen. Enormous, but like dark olive colored skin, but huge green eyes, and like this narrow face too. She was like a dead ringer from like a Roman lady, someone from the time of the Antonines or something. Flowzone says, didn't you study the Dönmes? Yes, I actually wrote a couple of books about them too. Dönmes were Jewish people who followed a crazy Messiah figure and converted to Islam, but actually didn't convert, but kept on maintaining their unique identity. I wrote a really nice book about their cemeteries, and then another book about, well, a member of their community. With me, parts of my family are either Dönmes, but there are also lots of conversions from Judaism to Islam in the last 100 years of the Ottoman Empire. That's independent from the Dönmes. So maybe some of those. Turkey could even be one of the most diverse gene mixtures on earth. Yeah, I think a critical appeasement on that was somebody calling Turkey the IRL Kalergi plan, which, if you don't know, it's a conspiracy theory, okay? The Kalergi plan. It's a far-right conspiracy theory based on Richard von Coudenhove Kalergi, a politician from, well, Austro-Hungary and later Czechoslovakia. And he wrote a number of books, and in one of them he predicted the race of the future, which in his mind would be an equal mix of Africans and Mongoloids and white people. So he wrote this book, and later on, this conspiracy theory developed, suggesting that there was actually a Kalergi plan to like make everyone breed with each other and create one like ultimate European NPC mud race. But yeah. Flowzone, who is tonight's top commenter and a very erudite viewer. Thank you so much, man. Irony is that Kalergi's actual views were more aligned with the far right than they think. He's pan-European, but still wanted European supremacy. True. Really interesting. Like, European philosophy is really interesting when you can pick apart the thorns. Lots of unique thinkers, not all of them correct, but interesting ways to put ideas together, nevertheless. 40 people watching. I hope you're enjoying the show, by the way. Do you want to explore Eskişehir? The Paza Rusa says, do you still have Discord? No. I think Discord is banned in Turkey. I don't even know. They banned it because all these like cat killers and fucking psychos were ganging up on it. I had an account there, but I almost never logged in. And I don't think it's even accessible in Turkey in the moment. What do you think of Krimchak Karaite Tatars who declare that they believe in Judaism, Karaite Judaism, but assert that they are Tatar Turks? Pan Van Dan says, good to see you, Mr. Kozman. Good to see you too, my friend. Karaites are a Jewish aligned sect, which surprisingly was not considered to be Jewish by the Nazis, so they survived the Second World War, but their population is still like very minor. But I don't know specifically about the Kırımçak Karaait Tatars enough to tell you anything on this live stream. But I'll tell you this much. If a group of people believe they are something, they are that thing. I mean, obviously, there are like factual things. Like, you really can't be like, imagine you're a group of Lithuanians and you say we're black Africans now. Okay, that's a bit out of sync. But if like a group or a tribe of people, they've got come up with this identity for themselves organically, by the way. So let's say before the end of the Cold War, you got to take them at their word. Marcio H says, I am afraid of the nature. Why? The nature isn't afraid of you. There's really no point of demarcation between nature and humanity. So, yeah. Flowzone says Turkish people have historically converted basically to all religions at some point. Yes, Turkish people, Turkish society is extremely pragmatic. Extremely pragmatic. This is both a saving virtue and a damning curse at the same time. Because it results in a very dynamic, almost American type society. But it also results in a very difficult permanence for institutions or even states. It's like everything is melting all the time. But the people know what's what. So there's something very like street smart about them too. Marcio H. Nature is careless about us or anything. Nature is ruthless and extremely bizarre. Yes, but what can we do about this tonight? Your time on earth is yours. Savor it, enjoy it, try to make something good out of it. I think our friend here is having some sort of existential crisis. Oh, this is good. It's a nice trick. Rub your temples every now and then. And forehead too. Oh, yes, that's the good stuff. We hope you won't mind if I clean my ears on stream, by the way. This is like a grooming ritual I do for myself on my desk. I can't have crumbs or grime or grease on my fingertips or face or anything in my teeth. I don't like that. When I'm working on the computer or drawing, they must all be clean. What is it that you like so much about the desert, Mr. Lawrence? It's clean. Anybody know that reference? Nice movie, that one. Is it hot there? Says Samet. No, no, far from it. It's actually cold. I had to turn up the heating. It's all part of the authentic experience. Boy, I was saved in the last instance. Almost threw in the face wipe rag into my soda, but got it out before it touched the liquid. I also feel the same about cleanliness, says Rusty Shackelford. Yes. Deserts are not clean, though. They have more dust than sand, says Küfsöker. Yes, that was me role playing or role acting this scene from Lawrence of Arabia, starring Peter O'Toole, which, I mean, it's got the Turks as the bad guys. Still, one of the best movies out there. Cinematography, acting, music, everything. Beautiful. Samet In says, where are you? Not gonna dox myself. Secret location. Fepazarusa says, what do you think about the few people keeping the All Tomorrow's community full of content? I love you all and thank you all. We are actually having an All Tomorrow's contest, art contest. Check my Instagram for more details. Melatonin Dragon Cookie says, Mr. Kozman, in a tone which I interpret as worried. I'm okay. Idiki says, Kösemen abi. Oh no, not like Hasan abi. Last stream we talked a lot about him, huh? What is your favorite brand of sparkling water, says Rusty. I think idiotic. I'm apologies, but idiotic to choose with brands of water. It says H2O. I don't choose for taste. It's a God-given blessing water. I always buy the cheapest bottled water, and I make a point of doing so. Because I think if people pay extra for better water, there's just something classist and wrong with them. Water is a staple of life. You must be able to drink it out of a radiator if you find it. Melatonin Dragon Cookie says sparkling water tastes like TV static. Very true, very true. What a nice metaphor. Any upcoming trips to abandoned places, says Marcio? They are nice. I got a few videos. I still have to edit them. Rusty Shackelford says, I don't buy water that's been in a hot plastic bottle. Yeah, because of this phenomenon known as phthalation, where like plastic bottles, what makes them rigid is this, what makes them soft but rigid is this thing called phthalates. You leave them in too long and they leak into the liquid and the plastic becomes brittle too. Well, if you drink that, you might have some strange materials in your body. Flowzone says, is tap water drinkable? Ostensibly, no, but I put it in the kettle and boil it, and after boiling it, I can put it in my coffee. That's how I brew all of my coffee. My rule is if it goes to boil, I can drink it. But in some cities like Ankara, there's a horrible problem with the water quality there. Last month, I think there was something in it that made hundreds of people sick. There's something with the pipes, and yeah, I wouldn't drink that even if I boiled it. But I'm not in Ankara. Bleatnik says, am I late to the party? Well, we had a pachinko party. We spoke about a lot of things. Louis J says, I love you so damn much, CM Kozman. I can hardly express it. Thank you. Means a lot, honestly. I know you from my YouTube channel comments. Thank you. Panty plays history. We stayed in southern Turkey a few years ago, and a few family members got very sick drinking tap water. Oy, that's a no-no. Southern Turkey. Well, let's have some map action, huh? I think it's time. Let's fire up Google Maps. Okay. Now I'm going to take you to a town in southern Turkey, okay? We are in Anamur in southern Turkey. Now in southern Turkey, water is hard to come by, and the ground is, well, the groundwater is not very abundant. Oops. Let's drop a figure here. So you see all these houses have these water containers on their roofs. Now this part of Turkey is also very hot, so they're all heated with some sort of a solar contraption. So here, so they just sit in the sun, the water just sits in the sun. We can't see, says. Well, can you see? Let me know when you see it. Can you see now, or is it still black? Okay, now you can see it. So you see on the tops of the buildings, there are these like drums, which are the water containers. What they do is the water is pumped there and also heated with these solar panels in summer. And that's how it works. The water is also drawn from like deep ground wells, and it's not very sanitary. So yeah, that's maybe how your family got sick. In southern Turkey, as a rule of thumb, I don't think you should even like get ice on your drinks, because they make the ice from tap water, which is basically like a bacterial colony. So yeah, when you're in southern Turkey, no ice, no ice. Cauliflower says, I remember staying somewhere near the cliffs of Babada in Muğla, Fethiye. There was a village nearby. They did not have access to water, so they stored everything in tanks. Yeah, so they do that, and all the microbes breed in them. So yeah, Turkey's version of Montezuma's revenge. Does the tap water taste like chlorine? Not where I am at. Küf Söker says, my uncle used to make charcoal from oak wood in a pot, mix it with water, and then strain it to make it drinkable. Very, very good filtering tip. He basically made a charcoal filter. Why is the water heated, says Flowzone. Well, in this part of Turkey, there's no central heating because none is needed. The temperatures are very high throughout most of the year. So if you want hot water from like a shower or something, they got these solar heating systems. Can you still see when I'm coursing through the streets of Anamur? I'm just going to wait for confirmation before moving on. Can you still see? We see, it's fine. Okay. It's sad to see just a few miles from where the tourists are living their best lives, the natives are having such a hard time trying to survive. Yes. It's not that drastic, though. I mean, the situation is way worse in places like Cancun or some parts of Mexico, where you literally have like fortress like hotels where Americans party it down. And it's like the third world. Mexico City is like that, huh? Okay. Okay, let's go traveling in Turkey. Let's see one of those Club Med places. Club Med is a French chain of holiday towns. They're really nice, actually. Is this Club Med? No. This is, I think, the intersection from one. Wait. Of course, no Google Maps access. But this is what the entrance looks like. This is like, I actually stayed here as a child. Kulüp Met Palmiye was a very sweet place. The doorway is the same. This is like 1980s modernist Turkish architecture at its best. And it's very well maintained and just a nice and probably very expensive place to go. There's one of the nice little local cars. Look at this little guy. I love cars like this. So the situation is not as unequal, let us say. I mean, look, there's Club Med. Can you see the map, by the way? Can you see the map when I'm not on the streets? Just confirm so I'm not roving around for nothing. That car is so cute, says Eleanor Davis. Yes. Okay, you can see the map, right? Okay, great. So we were down here at Kulüp Met, which was fantastic. Then there's some other nice hotels, like, I don't know, with names like Mirage Park Resort and Sherwood Exclusive. Let's see what this one looks like. And it looks like a random hotel from the States. Sherwood is funny. It's a funny name. Wonder if you're going to meet Robin Hood down there. But then here, there's a maze-like little town, which is where everybody who works in these Seven Seas Hotel Life or Karmir Hotel, whatever, these places, live here and work here. There's even a dino park. Göynük itself, the towns are like this. So yeah, not too shabby, if you know what I mean. I mean, maybe you could say this is a holiday town still. Okay, let's try to find the more dilapidated corners. Still, the houses are, not too bad. There's even a dinosaur park here, if it's the place I remember. I think this is the dinosaur park place. They censored something. Now, this is the Göynük High School, the science high school. Anyways, this is what it's like. So it's not as unequal, or I mean, it could be improved, yes, but it's also clean and tidy. And yeah, what is Dino Lezzet? It's the Dino Taste restaurant place. Let's try to find it. Maybe there's some pictures here. This is a photo somebody took. Oh, we got a cryptid. We got this square spiked stegosaur trope in this bizarre statue. God damn. You know this thing, right? The Vuerhosaurus trope, which was a relative of Stegosaurus, but for a number of years it was pictured like a stegosaur with filed down plates. So this was actually an accident of fossil preservation. and totally not accurate, but I still always wanted little filed down stegosaurs. I wanted them to be real. So that statue in Dino Park was clearly inspired by this thing. Maybe it's China even. All right. More places in this Dino Park. This guy is holding up the thing. Oh! We got something like an Omeisaurus or one of the big Chinese sauropods. Yeah, I think they had all of these statues made in China. And it's insane how far ahead China has zoomed in terms of paleontology popularization. My IRL friend and like one of my favorite artists, Natania Jagielska, she's working in China with a museum, and their museums are like so slick and so well made, and all the models and something like these are like the earlier generation of Chinese paleo models. Now the state of art is incredible over there. I was not paid by the government of China to say these things. It can't be worse than Anka Park. Yes, that's another like. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but Anka Park was a huge dinosaur themed park that basically a corrupt governor used to siphon off government money. They bought a bunch of dinosaur statues from China, and maybe it was like a statue was worth maybe $2,000, but they built it off for like $48,000, charged it to the municipality, and a lot of models like that, and they pocketed the difference. Ünsal Hanoğlu says, Abi selam. I went to the Naturland Eco Park in the mid 1990s. They also had dinosaur models there. Yes. Where was this Natur Park? I don't know about this place. Fepazaruza says, I feel old knowing the China bad meme is dying. It might be revived if China and the United States ever have a confrontation about Taiwan. Nick Nitowski says, as a child, I made a story about the dinosaurs, all of them, I think, uniting their souls to become powerful enough to bend the universe and later the multiverse itself. I would like to read that story. Okay, nearly 2 hours now. Let me show you Eskişehir, the town I visited this weekend. Okay. We may have gone there before. But this is a city right in between Istanbul, which is here, which is the big city, and Ankara, which is the capital and the government central. Eskişehir is just on the elbow between the two cities, and it's an easy train ride away, which is always good. And let me show you where I stayed. And let me show you where the All Tomorrow's meeting took place. gonna like walk you through my entire Eskişehir adventure. Wait. Okay, where's the train station? Just a second. Not here. Okay, so can you see it? Yes, here we are. The map of Eskişehir looks so nice, says Samet In. Videos for Stuff says, does Turkey have any wacky regional stereotypes? There's one stereotype that's, well, actually a real major source of contention. Never gonna go see it. Never gonna talk about it though openly, because some stereotypes are correct. Giovanni says, have you had a chance to see Primitive War? No, it's not on cinemas here. We have a lot of regional stereotypes, says Cauliflower. Okay, so this is my Eskişehir adventure. I'm gonna walk you through it, show you where all tomorrow's events took place in the last weekend. And I'm recording on the 22nd of October 2025. So this was on the 18th and the 19th. So this is the train station. You can see this is the exit. All the people coming off, filtering out. Nice place, huh? Okay, so I walk this way towards the city now. And this is a very walkable city, at least the center part. So you cross these old railway buildings and keep on walking. Everywhere you can see students going to work or coming to town. It's a student city, which is also nice. So we go this way. And there in the distance, it's really nice, coming from a big crowded place like Istanbul. It's really nice and walkable. Over here, we got the S Park Mall, which has a lot of interesting shops, and it's just a cozy place in the cold death of winter. Actually, elsewhere in this channel, I have 2, I think maybe even 3 travel videos to Eskişehir. So if you like this, go check them out too. So I came to town roughly here near the mall. Then I walked this way a bit more. There's the famous Rihanna building, named so because this struts looks like diamonds, and the famous Rihanna song, Shine Bright Like a Diamond. Unknown says, sorry for not coming. My bird is injured. I have to take care of him. Don't worry, man. My best to your bird. Cauliflower says, is there anywhere in Turkey that you'd really like to visit but didn't have the chance to? Yes, a lot of places on the Black Sea coast. Artvin, Trabzon, Rize, Samsun, İnebolu, which was the ancient site of a major snake cult. Yeah, all those places, many places actually. Okay, so this is the Rihanna building. It's actually a very nice, almost Soviet style apartment block. But you see everywhere is clean and well maintained. And this is the monument to the Republic. There are these like ancient Turkish horsemen here, and also heroes of the Turkish War of Independence. And then I wonder if the map lets me go here. Okay, my first stop was here, this little plaza, or I don't know, like a little public amphitheater kind of place, where out of all things, they were having a feminist protest, but also a performative male acting contest. And I was made aware of how old I am, because I always thought the performative male was like a guy who was putting on a show by being extra masculine. You know, you have the car keys on the table, big watch, and like overcompensating and stuff like that. Turns out, in the parlance of the young generation, a performative male was a guy who was trying to sneak into women by appearing to be more sensitive or indie or alternative or even queer coded than he really was. So there were all these like young women pretending to be like guys who cared, and a lot of people wearing leather jackets and like pretending to read Simone Beauvoir or I don't know, other feminist literature, but holding the book upside down and stuff. It was really funny. And here, a lot of people, like a few people, identified me personally and got to ask me about All Tomorrows. And then I got the book out and showed it to them, and like, oh my God, it's an interesting, nice feeling. Nice feeling to be a little famous. You can also have a large hat to be a performative male, says Videos for Stuff. Okay. Kuro Minami says, did I miss a lot? Well, here we are. Good night to Samet In, and 40 people still watching my drivel. Thank you so much. 40 people still watching me yap. Okay, so then this was there. I met some of my friends and we hung out and talked about the book, and I watched the contest, to be honest. Then from here, I will show you how to get to my hotel. So we go deeper into the downtown now. And there's a public rail, as you can see, one of the many nice things about this city, affordable public transport. I mean, in the center, you don't really need it because even with luggage, you can walk everywhere. And they're trailing this train. Okay, how do we go? Oh, it's almost like the train is blocking me. Oh, well. Okay, so you follow the train and you enter this nice, like, main street, I don't know why this is all zigzaggy. Huh. You gotta bear with me, but this is the main street. Like nicely full of trees. So you cross there and you arrive at the second shopping mall, which is the Kanatlı Shopping Center, which also has cinemas, and the bowling alley, and the Starbucks, and it's really nice and compact and neat. There's another public square here before you cross to, well, the river. So after this square starts a part of Eskişehir. In the present day and age, it is suffering from, well, like an invasion of horny single men who can stab you and murder you. So at night, this place It's not unsafe, but there's just a lot of characters you shouldn't get into eye contact with, okay? But still, it's all good. The reason for this is that right behind the street, there's another. I'll show you. With all the bars and like, look at this place, Cuba, fake socialist bar. And all the bars and pubs that once used to be aimed at students, but now this area has become really dilapidated. And look at this. There are all these like weird shops and like there's a big mafia presence here. There's no denying it. And it's only meters away from the main street and the shopping center. So it is what it is. Cauliflower says all Turkish cities have a mafia infested pub zone in them. Well, yeah. Look at this lamp. Somebody ordered the Turkish version of Deliveroo. Okay, so anyways, we keep moving from the main street. There's still like some old legacy apartments, McDonald's, like it's the high street, you know, like fashion boutiques and like, all sorts of shops. I love this place, especially in autumn. It's really nice to walk through. Plus, here, Tadım, screenshot this if you need to. Tadım is like a very old and beautiful patisserie, and it's very delicious place. It's a very nice vintage 1980s feeling to it. Why is it so empty, says Samet. I think they just took the photos in a not busy hour. Today's sponsor says, well, I wish. But no, they really have nice stuff here. Tadım. It's a beautiful part of Eskişehir. And I love these stained glass displays here. Somebody was asking me about stained glass in one of these streams. Here's a nice example. Yeah. That's the new trick I learned from watching YouTubers and other streamers. They call it the Osmongold, yeah. So you watch something, you don't know what to say or you're tired, but you want to appear to be engaged. And you look at things, yeah, the glass, yeah, tadım, yeah, that's right. Okay, then, by the way, it's like, I mean, like this type of like puff coat, cheap sports shoes, black overall guys that you need to be careful about. Yeah, it's them. It's them, all right. Okay. Okay, here they are again. Giving a bad look to the same guys, probably. Looking at the Google car like they want to stab it. Who knows? Anyways, the less we see of them, the better. So, anyways, keep walking. God damn, not there. Then there's a little path that crosses to the river. Suddenly, we find ourselves by the river, which is another attraction that Eskişehir has. And there's a nice bridge, charming bridge where everybody takes selfies. Like last weekend, this was like selfie center, and literally there was like lines on either end full of people wanting to take selfies on it. Those guys give me anxiety. I don't have good memories with them, especially in Adana. So, well, everybody's feeling it. Everybody is feeling it. It's awful. Anyways, this is one of the nicest parts of the city. I wonder if Google lets us cross the bridge. Didn't. Anyways, there's a KFC, there's a kahve dünyası, the world of coffee. Wait, it. Okay, we crossed the bridge, I think. Then you move on, there's this demolished lot, and there's this building, which they weirdly attempted to beautify by welding a lot of East Germany type circles on it, and it kind of worked, but it's just a rundown building of offices, and like there's a driving school there and a bunch of other stuff. There's a coffee named Aura where you can go and Aura farm. Just drink it in. I hope you're enjoying this, by the way. Many people are not commenting, and I hope I'm not boring you. Anyway, so you walk all this way and you come to Travelers Cafe. I'm surprised they got the apostrophe placed correctly, but yeah, Travelers Cafe, where you apparently travel the world and come to rest. Enjoy world cuisine, a travel library, breakfast, Irish pub, beer house in German for no reason, and something called Cheap Charlie. Cheap fucking Charlie at the Travelers Cafe. Everybody's hooked on the tour. Thank you. All right. I'm busy working, but you are in my ears, says Ozzy. You're all drinking it in. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now I'm going to keep spoon feeding it to you. I love random stuff. Okay. So Travelers Cafe is actually on the bottom floor of this incredible hotel. Incredible hotel. Look at this. Decked out with flags. The rooms are all clean and bright. The hotel's name is it's the Ada Life Hotel. This is where I always stay. And let's see if we can find some pictures here. Because they have one of the life hacks with Eskişehir is that Ada Life Hotel has these like tiny corner suites that are almost like Japanese capsule hotels, like this one. No, actually, no, mine was this one, or the second floor one. Yeah, I actually stayed this here. Tiny balcony, tiny window, that's it. Now I'm going to try to find some room pictures. They usually don't have pictures of the small and cute rooms, but I'll try my best. Well, if we can't find pictures, you can always watch my Eskişehir travel video, because I filmed a travel video in this hotel, but no, actually I found a room. Yes. Yeah. Yes, right. Ada Life Hotel. So it's tiny. They shot this with a wide angle lens. Can you see the photograph? Please confirm. They shot this with a wide angle lens, but it's tiny. So, I just cozy up there, just enjoy the scenery, have a hot shower. I have a long ass hot shower actually. Wash off the grime. Literally, like the walls are within an arm's length of the bed. So it's like you're floating on this bed and it's as everything is as close as this basically. Looks pretty cozy, says Samot. Eleanor Davis says very yellow. It's the color grading. Cauliflower says, do you know about GeoGuessr, the name you try to guess the place by looking at Google Street View? Yes, but I'd rather it's a pretty standard activity to do on live streams. No, I'd rather just tell you my own story. So anyways, this was my hotel. I always, of course, make some cheap hotel coffee and just enjoy myself really. And then back to the streets. So here is a path through this street. I'll just have to drop the little man in there again. Oh, where the hell were we? Whoa. Okay, wrong location. Sorry. Ada Life Hotel. Okay, there we are. So now, oh, this street is blocked, so we can't see anything. Oh well. Because there's a military hotel and restaurant on this street. So anyways, I'm just gonna take you from where we left off. Basically, my hotel is to this far edge, Oh no, wait, sorry. So we keep walking this way in the narrow streets, in from the river on the other side. Bikes were very nice, says Cauliflower. A military restaurant. Yes, there's like a free hotel and restaurant for military families and service people to use. And those places are always very well guarded. And they're actually very nice tactical burgers. Well, maybe no, I don't know. Well, it's a different story, but I personally am a big fan of the Turkish armed forces, especially their social amenities, endowments. They got some of the biggest hotels and nicest places. Wait, actually, like in the Turkish city of Izmir, right on the seashore is this military hotel. And it's for like the top brass to, well, rest, I guess. It's a really nice, beautiful, clean, modernist building. And say what you will about the army or the armed forces, the way they think and act it is what it is. But compared to the rest of the town, which is unfortunately very dirty, rundown, and kind of dilapidated, this is really clean and pristine. And there's actually even a military hotel in Eskişehir itself, which is this thing. OE means ordu evi. In the present day, it's got a worse meaning in slang. I'm not gonna go into that. It is what it is, but it's a really nice, 1960s, clean cut, Le Corbusier-esque building. Very nice and fresh. The architect, I believe, was Vedat Dal Okay, who was a legacy Turkish architect. Here's a picture of the Turkish Army Hotel, military hotel in Eskişehir from the 1970s, back when things were a bit gritty. So it looked like this. But isn't it kind of sad if the nicest part of town is reserved for the military? In maybe another country, it would be. Over here, it's the lesser evil, best of the lesser evils. Believe me, like without the military, it would be some sort of corrupt mafia place or a corrupt government place or I don't know, some sort of weird religious cult place. Seyit Ahmet Tabaru says, do you have retired family members in the Turkish army? No, not directly, though on my mother's side, I am related to Danish Karabelen, who was this guy who was a NATO trained Turkish officer in Korea and beyond. And he founded the Turkish Army's Tactical Mobilization Group. In Turkish, this was the Seferberlik Taktik Kurulu, Special Operations Unit, the counter-guerrilla force in Turkey, which operated under NATO. So this is my military relative and ancestor who I'm proud of. So this guy was my mother's husband's brother. So yeah, deep lore there. Why don't we get back to Eskişehir now and look at the charming streets and everything. Sametin says, what is the double bus thing? I think it was something in the map earlier, but I don't know if I can get back there. So we cross these streets, the art bag place here. Look at this little art cafe. It's like literally 9 feet long and people are having a date there. Next door, it is something else. It is I Love Coffee, Parle Libre, where you can you could have a full breakfast for 2 people for literally $1 in today's prices. But this photo was taken 2 years ago. So maybe it was $3 back then, who knows. And these places have this like weird aesthetic of their own. It's all about food, tea, ugly close-ups of food, tea, like interspersed with pictures of Turkish film stars of the 70s, because it gives it character somehow, and like trappings of books, like Parle Libre here. Next door is Art Bag. It is for coffee, books, art products, and the gallery. I don't think this place is in operation anymore, which is a pity. It looks nice. This is like a slightly dirtier version of Japan, by the way, if you realized. Eskişehir really has that aesthetic. Slightly more rundown version of Japan. Some more coffee places here. You can have, here's a tea tree. And this blurb says, a sip of joy, in a weird coffee cup kind of thing, which is strange because the place is named Tea Tree. And contrary to what this name would have you believe, tree does not grow in trees. And it's got the, I don't know, Mesopotamian vibe to it. So yeah. So tea tree is right next to the art supply cafe, the Parle Libre pseudo-intellectual unlimited breakfast joint. Right next to it, actually, I've had rice and chicken here, courtesy of Icon, who might be watching. If you're watching, let me know, brother, because we had some nice rice and chicken here last year. And then there's this coffee place here, Hera Sokak, which is built on a really nice Art Deco building from the 1930s, which like occupies this neat corner junction like a slice of cake, and it's just beautiful. And we sat upstairs and painted and drew the whole day. This is one of the nicest parts of Eskişehir, this thing here. It's called Hera Sokak. Inside it's very clean and well lit too. It's just a beautiful building, and the building really makes the place, I think. And then moving on, there's a gingerbread man place. And it's funny because the algorithm took the face of the gingerbread man as a person and censored it. Look at it. Maybe he was abused. That's why they're hiding the face. I don't know what this place is. It's called Bal Breakfast. So it's a breakfast joint for like slightly more like ukulele guitar hipster people, with the pumpkins you can't really buy and eat, but the fruit I think is up for sale. Okay. And look, it's just like a tiny shop at the bottom floor of this 3-4 story thing. Really nice. Everything is like inside one another, which I really like. It's really livable. It could be cleaner, yes, but yeah. Then this apartment, it's like you have to drink this in. Just look at this gray building here. I'm even going to crop it for you. This was built in the same time. This was built in the same time as the smooth Art Deco corner place. And you can see this little nice detail here on the bottom floor, where there's like a curling window near the door. So on the bottom floor, you can see who's coming in, and maybe even like have a chit chat with visitors without actually letting them indoors. So back then, this must have been a very elegant house, but now it's kind of run down, unfortunately. Probably a single family residence too. I just love this thing. It's a pity in America they all build with wood and cardboard. But imagine having houses like this one. Like, forget the dirt and the grime and like the shoddy workmanship, but like imagine houses like this but made out of brick and mortar. That would be like the ideal American house. I think there's a lot the states can learn from, well, the old world in general when it comes to construction. Imagine this type of house made out of concrete and bricks instead of paper and cardboard houses that rot and they're just ephemeral essentially. Okay, I'm gonna take a 1 second break and I'll be right back, okay? And please let me know what you think about the Eskişehir tour so far, because we still have a long way to go. Well, not too long, but yeah. I'm gonna take you to the cafe I had my ultimate Tolkien, and yeah, just let me know what you think about the trip so far. Yeah. Be right back. Where? Oh, there you are. Yes. I was looking for my mantis. Look at her. Look at her go. Oh my god. She associates me with food now. There's a plant she always sits on. She's very tame. And yeah. Oh. She's very fat. I've been feeding her non-stop. I've been giving her shield bugs, local caterpillars, and prawns. Actually, prawns is like drug. Prawns are a hard drug for mantids because they taste like insects. And she just devoured a huge prawn today. It's very fat. And she was AWOL, not on her plant. What? Now she's back. How long until the babies come? Says Flowzone. Well, the babies are due anytime soon now. Look at the abdomen. It's huge. I've given her like actual sticks because they like to do that on sticks, not on plant stems, like dry sticks. So we'll see. What's her name? Says Louis James. Just Mantis. But it's nice that you feed them like several times and don't move rapidly and don't grab them like this, and they tame very easily. Lots of comments about the Turkish city tour too. Let's give this mantis some water. Just mist her with water sometimes. So I think she can recognize the thing in the screen. Maybe not as herself, but as another mantis, because she's doing the camouflage shaking thing now, left and right. Oh, yeah, she's eyeing the screen warily. Oh, yaks, yaks. Nereye? Nereye? Nereye? Does she live with her boyfriend? Says Kurominami. No. One thing you know, these things they're not very social. They will eat a male if you lock them up for too long. I'm looking for other insects on the window, so maybe we can give you a feeding performance, but no such luck. No, like a small person. It's really cute. I'm gonna get her one of those little Japanese cricket cages if I can. These things. The Japanese and Chinese too. They have these like little bamboo cages for crickets and other things. So it looks like this. But you don't really need that either. Like if you got a house plant, they'll basically sit on the house plant for the whole day, and I think it's way healthier for the animal. Live bug face reaction? No. One thing with all tomorrows is even though I'm really like fond of it, not everything that I do or see or interact with needs to be tied into an all tomorrows reference. Look at how big the butt is. The flat chest, big butt archetype. You are rocking that. Okay, I'm gonna put her back. Yes. Okay, back to the comments. I think a lot of people found the city tour really cozy and satisfying, which is nice. Cauliflower says Eskişehir is a really nice city, one of the nicest places I've been to be honest. Yes, there are actually a lot of people living there who are more artistically minded or maybe are academics, and it's way more affordable than Istanbul. So I actually met a couple who were both artists. One was a musician, and they said they were priced out of Istanbul, so they moved to Eskişehir. So that's make of this what you will. Pepular says the dirtiness is not much better in some places here, probably referring to the United States, which is true. You don't see buildings like this with curvy windows and walls everywhere in Turkey, says Cauliflower. Yes. Küfsöker says, nice trip, but gotta go. Good night, my friend. Shabazz McLean says, Turkey honestly looks like a great place to travel to. Yes, if you do, make sure you take a trip to Eskişehir. And the nice thing is you can take a train from Istanbul to Eskişehir, which is really beautiful. The train trip is also very therapeutic. So, yeah. Popular says American houses can be so awful. My house has walls made out of paper from the 1950s. I don't see it lasting more than 2 decades before I have to replace it. Well, good luck. And then there. Joseph asks an all tomorrow's question, but man, we're in the middle of some other conversation now. Time travel is not possible in the all tomorrow's universe, but let us stay on topic for now, okay? Okay, back to our Eskişehir trip. Then it's almost been 2.5 hours. I'm gonna sleep then. Okay, so here we are. Look, there's a house for sale. And there was a house for sale 2 years ago. Tiny house in a small, cozy building. Could have had it all. Could have been yours. Just look at this. Drink us in. It's got like a nice micro Pompidou center kind of thing, like with the circular windows and the triangular balcony. It's a tiny place, but the balcony is still angled in and it's got some fresh room. God damn, I wish I could have bought this thing. Look at it. You could just live there and be an artist. Pitch black. Oh no, you can't see. It's black. Wait. Let's give it some time. Maybe it will come. So let me know if it comes back. Okay, you can see it now. Well, this is the house of your dreams in Eskişehir. Tiny, small apartment with modernist details, the circular window, the triangular balcony. There's a nondescript shop on the bottom floor. And this guy might be the realtor who's trying to sell it, to be honest. the suit just matches up. Yeah, this is a nice one. Look at it. It's so freaking cute. Is anything wrong or can you see it better now? Please let me know how you can see so I know or not whether to go. Cauliflower is informing another chatter about natural history museums. Okay, we can see the screen clearly now. Okay, so back to this lovely little building. And you see right next to it is a more classical old style Eskişehir house with tree in front and just 2 stories. I really love this kind of thing. This house is apparently open or owned by an association of sorts. The Eskişehir Association, Civic Association for Community and Art. Now, I don't know what cultural works are or services are being rendered in this building, but it's still interesting and cool. And look at this little jutting upstairs balcony. Well, not a balcony, but an overhang of the living room. So nice. Okay, then there's a little bookshop here called the Germinal Bookshop. And the Germinal Bookshop and second-hand bookseller, which is one of the nice places, like nice bookshops in town. It's operated by a person who loves books, and yeah, you can see like, plus they got a like neat selection of books in the English language too, so that's always nice. And it's just downstairs from this green apartment. And there's even a fancy coffee place right next door, and it's got the unfortunate name of Ked. Ked. Oh. Fine specialty coffee co. Well, if they knew a little bit more, they would know that a KED with a single D, not one, is the name given to this parasitic dipteran, this parasitic wingless fly that looks like this. KED. Imagine you go to KED coffee shop, have a nice cup, and suddenly, oh, what's this? Oh, it's a KED, like one of these fucking things. Now there's a nice Cronenbergian moment for you. And you go to the person who runs the place and say, look at what the fuck came out of my coffee. What the hell is going on? And then they say, well, didn't you order the KED special? You want more KEDs in your KED? Anyways. Looks like a walk, says 52 Shark. It is a wingless fly. The scientific name is Melophagus. Okay, if you want to know what a KED is, just go. Well, let's make sure you can see this again. Can you see the sign? Oh, why not call it a walk when it can't fly? Good one. Good one. Don't you just love the fact that these beings are real? Yes, I'm proud to live in the same universe as them. Can you see the KED sign, though? I need to confirm you can see the sign before I can go on. Okay, the sign is visible. Yes, good. Okay, so this was the unfortunate branding error with KED Fine Specialty Coffee Co. Actually, not to blame them too hard, because Kedi is Kedi, and I think this is like a little spin on the name cat. But just look, I mean, this is just like maybe 12 feet, and so many stores and 2 apartment blocks in such a tiny place. I love it. Okay, so after crossing here, did we turn left or right? Here's another nice circular building, circular corner building. And I also really love this blue and orange, blue and orange Lego kind of. Now, I always wanted to go inside one of these houses and see, but no such luck. So this way, huh. So there's another coffee place called the Dead Poets Society, where you can have chocolate and coffee. And you can see they have Wi-Fi, they have coffee, they got cold mocktails, and they're pet friendly and all. Just a tiny place right next to the hairdressers, the man's barber shop. Oh, we zoomed through time all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on here. Wait. Okay, so somewhere here is the Faust Coffee, which is like literally next door. There's another tiny apartment. Look at the sign. Chiseled out of marble, Özkan apartment. So nice. And it's just one story. This part of Eskişehir really is like Japan, by the way. There's a fancy hotel again, Daily. These names, I mean, okay. They're funny. Daily. What's, oh, I wish this guy had moved out of the way. What's in the day? Oh. I can't see. Oh, coffee, snack, traditional and local flavors. And right next to it is the Çetin Taş home cooked meal place, which I think is more wholesome. Okay. So more tiny apartments and houses. There's another barber shop, a pet shop, morning coffee place. Like I love this place, but where's the Faust Coffee House? Okay. There it is. This is a photo from 2 years ago. Now, this whole place was like way more vibrant. But long story short, this is where my Eskişehir adventure ended. We had a great event here. Thanks to everybody who hosted it. Thanks to Faust Cafe and the people who made it possible. 52 Shark says, I always imagine Turkey like the Ottoman Empire. Looks pretty modern in a way. My friend, now all the Turks in the chat are going to start mogging you because this is a detail that many Turkish people feel very strongly about. And there are parts of Turkey that look really oriental, but the people who are actually busy with the sheer task of actually living here always live in these like pretty modern conditions, as you like to call them. So yeah, this is Eskişehir. There's also a huge look at this place. It's neat. Ked Coffee. And like if you look at the map, this is the train station and it's not even a mile away. And in 1 mile, we've seen like entire worlds. Entire worlds. There are other parts of the city too. I mean, like this is a random spot where the apartments are taller. Okay. C Cyborg says, sick tour, thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. Okay, it's almost been 3 hours and it's 1 a.m. I'd better go to sleep. But before going, let me know what the favorite part of the trip was. What was your favorite part of today's trip online? Let me know and then I'll say goodnight properly. Oh. Mm. Kuro Minami likes the art cafe. Eleanor Davis loves the tiny hotel rooms. Fepaza likes the mantis gal. Shabazz liked looking at the shops. Flowzone loved the dinosaur park. That was a neat one too. And it just came out of nowhere. The Flywalk Cat Cafe is 52 Shark's favorite. Getting to hang out with me parasocially. I think I'm the least parasocial person out there. Huh? I mean, that's the benefit of having a small audience. C Cyborg says, I'm just happy I made it. Something loves the bookstore and the cat cafe. Once again, foreign viewers, you can visit Eskişehir and even maybe rent or buy property there. Cauliflower says the dinosaur park was nice. Yes. That's that, everybody. It's just nice being part of a live stream since normally I'm in bed, says Panti Plays History. Well, thank you so much. Favorite moment was when the screen was black and you were yapping about how nice the apartment was. Okay. If anybody among you is into 3D modeling, these like Eskişehir small apartments are really nice to learn Blender with because their shapes are pretty simple but intricate. Okay, everybody. It was nice to start at 10. I think I'm more active when it's just 1 hour sooner. Fepasa Rusa says, first time actually hearing your voice. Well, the YouTube channel is like full of hundreds of videos featuring my voice. So yeah. Albuquerque's artist says, congratulations on your publishing success. Thank you so much. Is your name a reference to Albuquerque? Are you from there? I watched your videos about Turkish region and I think they're just great. Thank you again. Do you have solid times for live stream, says 52 Sharks? No. I let people know 2 or 3 hours ahead of time. Usually I stream once every 1.5 weeks. And if I had this on schedule, it would be depressing for me. It would be like a task. But now, when everything else in my life aligns, I just flip it on. Have a great night with you all. And on that note, it was a great night. Good night, everybody. 25 people watching. Wherever you are, good night. And I love you all. Bye.